the screen? I'm seeing on the other screen that it's not.
How's that?
Okay, we're going, there we go. All right, for some reason on the LinkedIn screen, it's not showing you. Okay, let me start recording. Start recording. All right, we are live. Yahoo! And let me make sure this is going right. There. Okay. We are celebrating today the launch of this amazing, beautiful book, Amazing Woman Rise. And I want to introduce Pamela Plick. Oh, there. So it's going on in two different places. Just one minute. We're celebrating the launch of this beautiful book, Amazing Woman Rise, Ignite the Infinite Power of the Feminine Heart. Lean into your biggest dreams, amplify your true worth, and unleash an unbridled spiritual confidence. So Pamela, Jody, and Jacqueline, we're so happy I'm happy to be able to have this interview, a joint interview, which is pretty cool. And really just have this conversation about what it means to be able to be involved in this book, what it means to step into the power of the feminine heart. And we'll start with you, Pamela. What do you want women to know about igniting that power of the feminine heart?
Well, first of all, it's wonderful to be here. I'm really honored to be part of this this book project. And the thing that I want women to know most is that we have the power to change the world, to make a positive change in the world. There's a quote that I love from the Dalai Lama. He said, "The Western woman will change the world." Now, maybe it's not limited to the Western woman, but I truly believe that. And the way that we're going to go about doing that is by embracing our feminine heart. Because I think through our feminine heart, we bring forth that strength, the passion, and that's where the creativity comes from as well. And so through that, through our feminine energy, I think that we're able to inspire others to find their own inner strength, their resilience, and allow them to lead with confidence.
Beautiful.
So, yes, I love that. The feminine heart.
The feminine heart it's such a beautiful thing when we realize that. I think for many years, women thought they had to be just like men and don't have to be. And they don't need us to be either. We are who we are, and to accept and embrace that is beautiful.
It is,
And
absolutely.
so let's go to you, Jody. What do you want women to know the most about embracing that and igniting that power of the feminine heart?
Yeah, I think I was first introduced this concept by Marsh. She's been my mentor for quite a few years. And when I was first put into her spectrum, I didn't realize that I was working out of the masculine energy a lot. I, at the time, owned a quite lucrative business, and I was doing everything in a very masculine way. And I never even heard of this concept of using your inner feminine. And so what inspired me to kind of look deeper into that and I wanted to be feminine in everything I did, but I felt like it was very this way and not this way.
Right.
And so working with Marsh, we just worked on words for myself that really, she's like, well, and if y'all know Marsh, she's so creative with stuff like, what words can we bring out? And so I think that's a starting point that I think a lot of women can go with, is what feminine words can you incorporate for yourself that can bring you into that feminine.
Beautiful.
That's my contribution.
Beautiful.
Just start bringing in some words.
Awesome. And for you, Jacqueline, what would you like women to know about igniting that beautiful feminine heart?
So I feel that women, we need to trust ourselves. We need to trust our inner knowing. We need to stand unwavering in love. And standing unwavering in love begins inside of us to become that loving mother figure that so often wasn't. We've developed our subconscious protection mechanisms based on what we experienced when we were 7 years old and younger. So reprogramming that loving adult that wasn't there when we were young, and reprogramming those patterns so that we can feel safe and that we can take responsibility for giving ourselves whatever it is that we feel we may have neglected at a starting point, so that we can show up, that we can supply ourselves with that unwavering love. So then we can expand it into our world, and we can send that vibration out to uplift others, to uplift the world, and provide that safety.
That's beautiful. And what is for you, Jacqueline, what was one of the biggest shifts that you had to make in order to experience this? The question is in business and in life, but life for many of us is our business, so it all intertwines. So what was the biggest shift you needed to make?
It was really allowing myself to feel was really a big piece, because so often our nervous system will put us into fight or flight mode. And so really recognizing, why am I feeling this way? And giving myself the space in order to really acknowledge myself and acknowledge why the patterns were the way that they were, so that I could actually allow myself to really know why I was sabotaging or feeling that things were not healthy body, mind, and spirit, and how could I shift and bring that space back to me. And it's realizing that also, I think another big part was realizing that I was playing a part in somebody else's story. So what they were wanting to create for their life, I was always conforming and wanting to be that space. And as a high level sensitive empath, like I was always feeling my environment. And so I feel like taking a step back and taking responsibility to being the writer, the director of my life.
Absolutely.
And then also creating the space for other people to learn whatever life was bringing them as their lessons and their responsibility, and not overstepping that energetic boundary, being there to support, but also not trying to take on the pain.
That's it. Very good. Thank you.
You.
Thank you for sharing that. And how about for you, Pamela? What was one of your biggest shifts?
One of my biggest shifts, just like, I'm going to kind of piggyback off what Jacqueline said. I had a lot of masculine energy because I grew up in corporate America, and that's what we were trained to be, male personalities in a skirt, right? But so I had to really step back, trust myself, and develop that quiet knowing that yes, everything is in divine order. I don't always have to do. I can step back, be quiet, and develop my vision, and then let go. Trust, believe, let go. And that was the biggest shift for me, to kind of get out of that that warrior mode into the divine feminine creator mode.
And aren't you happier in that mode?
I am. I am. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that it's the case for all of us. And I think it was very ingrained in our society from early on that when we had to fill those shoes, that we were supposed to be like the men. And and really, I don't think the men needed us to be like men
No,
either.
yeah. And what was so interesting is that we never showed emotion, right? You didn't cry, you didn't get angry, you weren't supposed to show that emotion. But
I
we've
don't know how
evolved.
successful I have ever been at that. And how about for you, Jody? What was your biggest shift?
Um, so I love what Jacqueline and what Pamela both shared, because it's when you do this shift, it seems similar for so many people. And for myself, the biggest shift was embracing that masculine part still, and being able to kind of switch it to a feminine energy. And for myself, it was kind of recognizing that, like, I knew I was a powerhouse, and that people follow me as a leader and just woo doo doo. But I didn't want it in that masculine energy anymore, and I couldn't figure out how to bring in the feminine part. And it was actually enlightened to me by Marsha again. I'm like, well, I feel like I'm like this lion, and that I'm roar and people follow me, and I didn't want that energy anymore. And she's like, well, you're the female lion. You're like the lioness. I'm like,
Right?
what?
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, like, and the lioness protects the whole group. And I'm like, oh. So for
The
myself, when I
protector, the
shifted,
nurturer.
yeah, so when I shifted to that energy, and instead of being the lion and being the lioness, the feminine part of who I really was, I'm like, it just moved mountains. It was crazy.
That's awesome. So in the shifting,
Yeah.
which of the actions that you took were the most profound to stepping into this?
Yeah, I think it was recognition of having both the male lion, but then the lioness. And that was the biggest shift, was allowing, that, hey, I could still roar, but be feminine,
Mm,
and have my
yes.
inner power, but still be feminine.
And still have your glow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful. And for you, Pamela, the shift, what changes or new actions supported your shift?
I think what really supported me was really getting clear on my values and my vision. And then making sure that every action that I take, every decision that I make is in alignment
Right.
with that vision. And that's really so important to me. And I have my vision written out. And I look at it every day, and and there's one, if I need to kind of reset my energy, or kind of make sure that a decision is in alignment, that's what I ask myself. Is this action in alignment with my vision and purpose? And so you can feel, right, whether the decision is good or not. And I use that kind of as my compass as well. So
Beautiful.
just in alignment.
Truly beautiful. So, Jody, or excuse me, Jacqueline, what are a few ideas that you could share for those that are listening that would help other women to make the shift into this life of balance and accepting our feminine power?
Beautiful. Well, I love what Jody and Pamela have shared about regaining your power as your lioness, like really knowing yourself and understanding that underneath whatever your experience is of life, that you have an inner power that you can tap into, and standing unwavering in love, like, is trusting yourself and being able to, for me, I feel so going into, I use somatic release breath work as a tool to help my body to find where are the triggers that are buried, to address whatever trauma's underneath so that I can use my breath as a tool to uncover, release emotions, and then bring myself back into a state of peace, inner peace. Some other tools are I use prayer, meditation, and taking the time to really feel what is coming up so that it can be released.
And don't you think it's also trusting the inner guidance that we're receiving and not thinking that it's just your imagination, but that it's truly the messages that are coming clearly through you?
Definitely. And as Pamela said, staying focused on your vision. So me tapping into what is my vision, if that is like one thing that I could not state enough, is that tapping in to find your inner knowing and what's true for you. Like my mission is to help awaken and guide 1 million people home to their heart.
Mm.
And if I stay focused on that vision, everything else comes together. And I don't have to be forcing, be totally immersed in something, but what is meant to be magnetizes and is pulled in to my field.
Beautiful. Very
Thank
beautiful.
you.
So for you, Jody, what is maybe one quote or empowering thought or idea that you would want to close this interview with that women could take home and just really apply to their lives?
Oh, well, one quote that I love the be the change you want to see in the world. Like that's always been true to my heart. And for me, it's always giving women their light bulb moments. Like that is my true gift of enlightenment, is just to be your empowered self.
Yes.
Would be the one thing. I stood on many stages getting national awards and not felt like I deserved it. And so I think that would be the one thing that I would empower to other women, is that you do truly deserve, what you're capable of, I guess, and that you can be the change in the world, starting within yourself. So.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's awesome. And for you, Pamela?
For me, one of the common reasons that I hear from women as to why they're not able to bring their unique gifts into the world in a bigger, bolder way is money. And, what I know is if we can take the fear out of building that financial freedom, and then women are free to bring their unique gifts into the world. And so the quote that I have is, or I want women to really embrace is, now is the time to stand strong in your relationship with money, because it's the gateway to creating greater independence and confidence, forward movement, in creating the life that you desire.
Beautiful. And, for so many years we heard the quote, money is the root of all evil. But I say lack of money is the root of all evil. It is really difficult to do the things that you want to dream and bring your amazing talents to the world without that.
It's true, because we live in a material world,
Yeah.
And for those of us who strive to live a life of abundance, prosperity is part of that, right? And it's just so funny that people so often misquote that. It's not money, it's the love of money.
Money,
So,
love of money.
yes, and and I always, I always have to
And I just
bring
did
that
it.
up. No, but it's true. They do. Because our beliefs, like Jacqueline mentioned, our beliefs are imprinted upon us as children, and things that we've heard that are not true. But the good news is our beliefs are generational, and so they can shift with us. And that's really what I empower, I empower women to do. And I think through this book, it gives us, it helps us to empower women around that as well.
Do you, it's something that just entered my mind. Do you ever remember as you were growing up having access to these kind of words and this kind of vision for women? And did you ever hear the words about stepping into rising and accepting our feminine power? No.
No.
And that's what it's remarkable to me, because we take the lead for the younger women coming behind us, and the more the it ripples out, because I truly believe that what each one of us individually do has a ripple effect out to the world, and collectively it makes it a stronger force. And what my biggest dream is for the younger women to pick up on this way earlier than any of us did.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you, Jacqueline, what is your one closing, empowering thought, idea, whatever, the beautiful thing that you want to share?
Amen. To recognize that there is light in you, and to see the light in yourself, see the light in others. And with that, I'm going to read something from this beautiful book.
Beautiful book.
I am rising as the divine feminine, here to shine forth light and love into our world. My body is a temple and a source of creation, authentic energy to be honored, respected, cherished, and loved. I am filled with capacity that is ready to express, ignite, and create dynamically. I cleanse my heart, body, mind, and soul of all that fails to recognize my truth, dancing forth as we joyfully rise together.
Beautiful. Wow. Very powerful. So for those listening, if you haven't done so already, I had it upside down. Pick up a copy of this book. If you go to, I can actually put the link in here. If you go to Amazon and put Amazing Woman Rise or Marsh Engle, it will come up quite quickly, and I'll make sure I can get the link here. So is there any closing thoughts that anybody wishes to share in this panel today?
Be the ripple. Be the ripple of love. Be the ripple of light, because everything that you do, the choices that you make today, will create who you become tomorrow.
Very good. Beautiful. So be sure and pick up a copy. Enjoyed speaking with all of you ladies. I know I've read and each of your chapters and each of your quotes and different things that are in the book. It's so nice to be able to really kind of get a feel for who you are with conversation. So a day to celebrate. Be sure and share the book with as many as you can. And let's get the word out about this beautiful project we have going here. Thank you.
Thank you,
Becky.
Thank you.
Appreciating you all.
Thank you.